In the outer reaches of the solar system, a new moon is discovered, hurtling towards Earth.
We've got about 6 months before this moon is scheduled to impact the Earth.
The effects will be catastrophic.
The planet's hopes rest with an outcast crew of space miners. Only they can change the trajectory of the moon.
What have we got here?
We scanned this rock. There was no sign of indigenous animal life.
This was a carnivore.
We got a visitor. Oh my God.
It's territorial and it goes where the feeding's good. If we're out there, it'll show.
The hunters become the hunted as the countdown to destruction begins. A universe of terror lies waiting within the rock. From Apex Entertainment, rated R.
Hey guys, OSOP Communications here, and welcome to my review of Within the Rock. This is a movie actually that I've been looking forward to seeing for a long time now. I saw the trailer, like I forgot where I saw it. I think I was just looking at Video Detective and I saw it and I was like, oh, this looks cool. You know, and I've been trying to track it down. I can never find a copy of it anywhere until I looked online and found it. And it really made my day when I found it. Because I think I spent a pretty long time trying to find a copy of it. It's on DVD, but it's hard to find. You can buy it online, but it's not sold in stores, so you gotta go a little bit. You definitely gotta, you know, go out of your way to look for it, so to speak. But you know, you're probably wondering, is it worth it? Was it worth my time? I can be honest, yeah, it was worth my time. It was about as good as I expected it to be. I knew it was a low budget film, so I knew it wasn't gonna be stellar or fantastic. Oh my God, this is the best movie ever. But, you know, I just hoped at least it was somewhat entertaining. It at least lived up to the trailer. At least the trailer wasn't a lie. And it wasn't. Now, right off the bat, this is one of those movies that's a slow burn. So, it builds up the story until about 45 minutes, and then you finally see the monster for the first time. Unless you're counting, you know, the shots of the monster fossilized, but I don't think really, and it's suspended animation, I don't think that really counts. Or like the little brief shot of it in the beginning of the movie. But, you know, I can definitely see why some people might have a problem with that. For an hour and 27-minute long film, it's 45 minutes in when you finally get to see the monster doing anything. I could definitely see why people would have a problem with that. But I thought the story was interesting enough to keep me interested and involved in the film, you know, up until the 45-minute mark. Because if it was truly a piece of shit, I would definitely say so. And anyway, Within the Rock was a film that was released, made for TV. I don't know if it was Sci-Fi Channel. I don't know if it was Showtime. I don't know which one. It's a TV movie. That's what IMDb is saying it was. It was released in 1996. It's directed by Gary J. Tunnicliffe, who also did the effects for the film. Gary J. Tunnicliffe is really known more about makeup effects. He started working on makeup effects. He was a makeup effects technician on Waxwork 2. He was a makeup supervisor on Candyman. He helped work on Hellraiser 3. He helped work on the effects for American Cyborg Steel Warrior. He helped work on Sleep Stalker. He helped work with Image Animation, which is actually his company. I think he started it up. He worked with Lord of Illusions. Helped do the effects for Curse of Michael Myers, Hellraiser Bloodlines, Solo, Wishmaster, Blade. He did the makeup effects for Frost's Death. He worked on Candyman, Day of the Dead. You know, all kinds of stuff. They're not listing him as the makeup effects guy on Within the Rock, but he did help with that. That's just weird. I don't know why they're not listing him working on it Within the Rock. But anyway, he directed. I think this is his directorial debut. Was Within the Rock. And then he did like Hansel and Gretel. Yeah, that movie with Delta Burke and Howie Mandel, and yeah, what a change of pace to go from freaking Within the Rock to Hansel and Gretel. And then after that, he directed like a video short, and then he did Jack and the Beanstalk in 2010. It's like the guy did, you know, yeah. But he works on a lot of makeup effects. I mean, he worked on the effects for X-Men Wolverine. He worked on the effects for My Bloody Valentine remake. He worked on the effects for the most recent Hellraiser film, you know, Hellraiser Revelations. And he worked on the effects for Piranha 3DD, 3DD. He's probably the guy who did that Piranha, the Cooch effect. He worked on the effects for Scream 4, and he also, right now, he's announced as a special effects makeup designer for Halloween 3, which is still got a question mark when it's going to be released. Yeah. So the guy's got a lot of stuff. Tunnicliffe is... He's done a lot of work, you know, makeup effects. He's a makeup effects guy. Kind of like John Carl Buechler, you know, decided to direct a movie. He did it for a directorial debut. He did a pretty damn good job, in my opinion. Pretty solid good job here. Setting up a really good pace. You know, I thought it was a decent pace. I thought it was a good pace. He set up a good atmosphere. He had some, you know... He also wrote the script, so he had some good... Yeah, I thought he had some good ideas for the film as well. So basically, the gist of the plot is a time of space miners, which I don't know why it's called A Time of Space Miners. Man, somebody wrote this really needs to rewrite this on IMDb. A time. Really, what this one's better. On a direct collision course with Earth, a large moon rapidly approaches from the outer regions of the solar system, and Dr. Dana Shaw is sent along with a specialized mining crew to try and alter its course. Once upon the moon, Shaw is faced not only with a brutal time schedule and a greedy, opportunist crew captain, but with the release of a seemingly indestructible carnivorous alien, imprisoned within the moon eons ago by a race that had been slowly decimated. The beginning of the film takes place about 2 million years ago, and the planet Trillium. And you have this pretty good, well-designed, you know, look of these aliens in these like alien armor. And basically what they do is they just show them they have torches, and basically they've trapped this beast inside this square made of platinum. And then they send it out into space. And then you cut from that into, you know, the future, where there is a moon, a renegade moon, that is heading towards Earth, called Galileo's Child. It's a renegade moon that's heading towards Earth called Galileo's Child. So Dr. Dana Shaw is there along with Dale Dye, who plays the general. He plays General Hurst. And General Hurst is the kind of cocky general dude. He's like, you know, I don't care. You know, she's telling the plan, like, well, I got, you know, thank you for, you know, she's implemented this plan that she's gonna get a group of miners, a group of, you know, drillers, you know, like Armageddon, to basically drill some whole tunnels through the moon, and then set some C4 explosives in the base, and then blow it up. Which then will send, you know, not really blow up the whole moon, but blow up the base enough so then it will change the trajectory of the moon so it'll miss Earth. It's not really the best science. I don't know if it really worked, but hey, for the movie's sake, I'm just going to accept it. So then basically what happens, though, is she's telling the general about this, and the generals are all gung-ho about, let's nuke the bastard, nuke the frickin' moon, and she's like, you can't do that, because if you nuke the moon, you're just gonna kill us anyway, because you're just gonna blow up the moon, and it'll send like asteroids, the size meteorite, chunks of the moon the size of frickin' Kansas. It'll just crash into the Earth and kill thousands, kill the Earth anyway. And he's like, well, you know, your plan isn't gonna work, so you know I'll be there to save the day like always. You know, and they're like, what a cocky general douchebag you are, General Hurst. So then anyway, of course, that's the only time you see him, because they don't end up nuking it because it just wouldn't work. So then basically tells him about then the movie goes as a segue into 9 weeks later, which is 9 weeks later after the fact, after the debriefing of the mission, and Dr. Dana Shaw gets sent to the sent to the renegade moon to meet up with the crew, and then you get Xander Berkeley being a douchebag. You introduced to the crew and their different quirks. You know, Cody is into, when he drills, he likes listening to hard rock, heavy metal music. How's it? And the soundtrack in this is pretty solid, actually. I actually enjoyed the soundtrack. And that was I liked Cody. Bradford Tatum was cool in this. He was likable. He's got the whole heavy metal, you know. He was like, you know, turn on the rock, you know, turn on the rock music. I'm gonna, you know, I need that. He's like, he needs the heavy metal to make it through this drilling. You know, I thought it was pretty cool. And his brother Luke, he's more of like the brainy guy who likes, you know, who's okay with listening to classical music, while Archer, Michael Zelniker, is also teaching him, you know, basically quizzing him on his studies and everything, because he's studying to be like a, you know, one of the computer engineers, the guys who can help, you know, fix the atmosphere processors. He's trying to be, you know, move up in the business of, you know, drilling in the future. So, you know, and that like little nice little quirks. Calvin Levels is a guy who likes to, you know, every now and then just stop, you know, just screw around and play video games on his off time, and he likes eating Twinkies, and he's got this sense of humor, and it's like, you know, you also have, of course, you have Newcomb, Samantha, who is, you know, she's the bomb expert, and she you know, she basically knows everything about, knows every different way, you know, you can possibly think of to blow something up. And so it's just little fun little, you know, stuff, you know, and it seems like the whole crew wants to have fun, and, you know, just, you know, the work, you know, wants to have work and play. But, you know, Xander Berkeley, Ryan, is the tough-nosed hard ass who, like, if they talk back to him, he'll give him an extra hour of work. So, I mean, Ryan, Xander Berkeley, he's not like, you know, the likable, you know, crew lead like, you know, Peter Weller and Leviathan. He's just kind of just an asshole. But, you know, his performance reminds me a lot of Miguel Ferrer. So I'm surprised. I wouldn't have been surprised if they didn't ask Miguel later. They're like, you know, ask Miguel earlier, and then they settle with Xander Berkeley. Like, Miguel, man, we want you to be within the Rock. You play the crew lead who's kind of an asshole, and it's like, you know, I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Miguel Ferrer was like, you know, I'm tired of doing that. You know, I always play the asshole. It's getting kind of old. I like to do something different. I want to do something different, you know, with my career. You know, I did it in Deep Star 6. I don't need to do it Within the Rock. Thank you for asking, but no thank you. You know, so they probably like went with Xander Berkeley, whose channels is in Miguel Ferrer here. So basically, you know, you just have scenes of them drilling. You get introduced to the characters, which I didn't mind. It was doing character development for once. So kind of building up something so you could care about some of these certain characters, or then you find out tendencies about Ryan, who just is in for the money, and just wants to screw his crew over, along with the engineer guy, Potter. You're just like, well, you know, screw those guys. They're unlikable douchebags. They can die later. But, you know, they build up enough character development with these other characters that you honestly do care about them, and you don't want them to get hurt, which is a good thing in a movie, in my opinion. Some people might call it boring, but I thought it was entertaining enough building it, and it was good to build up the character development, to make you sort of, you know, give a shit about these characters, which I thought was good, well done. It was a good idea, in my opinion, anyway. So then basically, you first find out something's wrong when they try to drill through this, you know, piece of rock, and they end up hitting something. You find out it's a piece of platinum, it's a piece of metal, can't drill through it, so they send in Newcomb, who blows it up, and then they go inside and they see this, what looks like a fossil of like this creature. And I don't know how to explain it. It's sort of like a bipedal man with like leathery skin, but then it has like bone-plated armor and then like horns on the top. So it's like a space bull or something. It's hard to explain the thing, and you really don't see a really good look at the monster, which honestly is probably a pretty clever idea in terms of lighting and everything to try to make it so it doesn't look as fake. So I kind of gave it credit to that.